So if a book does not serve you, put that shit down.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's no
No,
reason. Yeah.
there's no heroism in finishing it.
Hey there. Welcome to Top of Mind. Real talk for today's woman. With Anna and Karen.
Okay, we're back. And we are back. Today I asked Anna to discuss our books that we're reading.
Yep.
We had talked about it last month, and we thought we'd bring them forward. So I'm going to let Anna start.
Damn it. Okay.
She's not ready.
I'm going to actually go through, I got quite a few books. I'm going to go, I read fiction and I read nonfiction books. And our last episode, I talked about fear. And I think, part of why it's so like much on my mind too, are my books that I am kind of like, my nonfiction books are about our thoughts. So I'm going to give you the ones that I am kind of working on now. So one is How Your Mind Can Heal Your Body. That's David Hamilton. This is another David Hamilton, which if you're not familiar, I love his writing style. It's called It's the Thought That Counts, Why Mind Over Matter Really Works. And then this one kind of goes along with the first one, Your Body Believes Every Word You Say. So this actually has a lot to do with illness and just, this woman had cancer. And she talks about her journey through that diagnosis and how she healed her body. And then my last one on the thought is Don't Believe Everything You Think. Very short read. I've already read this one. I'll read it again. So it talks about the root cause of suffering, how to experience unconditional love. But anyway, all these are all my thought books, which is my focus for January and February, are my thoughts. Now, unlike my counterpart, she does not read nonfiction.
Oh, God, no.
My goal every month is two fiction books. So here are my reads for January, February. Cackle. I'm not going to tell you much about them. Now, these are actually a little bit of a different genre for me because I typically like psychological thrillers and things like that. These are more like horror. Reformatory, which actually this is supposed to be kind of like a historical fiction, but spooky.
A little light reading before bed.
Yeah, The Library at Mount Char. This is a little different for me. And again, I'm happy to give reviews of the books. This is a little bit different because this is a little more fantasy than what I'm used to. Night Watching. Yes. You want to get scared, man? Woo-hoo, this one's spooky as shit. And Betty. This is actually, again, like a historical fiction, but not scary. So these are my books for January and February. So hopefully I'll be able to get three fiction books done in one of those months, because again, my goal is two a month. Sometimes based on my reading, I can do 3 books. So yeah.
Okay. And your topic, like you have 4, they're all on thoughts. Like,
yes.
Do you pick a subject and you study it, go down the rabbit hole? Like, how did you come to those 4 books?
I have to tell you, normally, no. Normally I'm kind of like all over, but I'm trying to be more focused this year. Okay. So normally, for instance, like I have a Marianne Williamson book. Last year I read A Return to Love, as you know. This year, this is another book I have of hers, which I love her. I don't know if you guys have read her, Everyday Grace. She's amazing. I mean, she can simplify things for me. But I just kind of, the whole thing of fear, honestly, just stuck to me like glue. So, and I understand the power of thoughts. The hard part is in habits, it doesn't matter what it is that our instinct, when you talked about survival instinct last episode, is to go back to what's familiar. We don't like change.
Yep.
So that's why I'm kind of just trying to hammer in on one thing, and that's about the thoughts, because the likelihood, and then I have to put the, what's the word, not action, not goals, I have to build the steps.
Foundation.
Huh?
Foundation
No,
That's
it's kind of like the system. I have to build the system to make the change. Because again, without the system, we want to focus on habits, but without the systems, we fall back into what's familiar.
And see, an interesting thing, even when we're talking about it, is that you have that scientific base. I'm more the woo-woo base. So for me, it's an easy change, which is, I do, prayer, meditation, that type of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
do it at that level with the belief that I put out, it'll come back. It happens. I ask for and I will receive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so for example, you would work on the habits, and where I would work on the idea of putting habits into place and asking for help.
Interesting.
you know
Yeah.
that's where I'm more woo woo in that. But and for me, when I heard you talk about fear, when I hear you talk about the fear, I kind of equate it to when I was looking at shame. For me, I recognized how permeating shame was in my life, how it had impacted me and stopped me and froze me and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I could just see when you talked about that relief and that realization, and how when I said the word trapped and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
a real connection. So
Mm-hmm.
um, for me, I don't necessarily have a system of what I'm researching of that. What happens is somebody recommends a book that I like them or what they're saying and this type of stuff, and I get it. So I get tons of books. I don't always read them, and I don't read from beginning to end anymore. I read what I want and what I need. If it's not capturing me, on I go,
Right.
or I just pick and flip through. And I actually thought that you'd be surprised at my list and everything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
no, I had no idea you were such a voracious reader. So just
I am.
and most of mine, I'm just gonna have to say the titles because I do a lot on Kindle or Audible. Actually, I do
Yeah.
them both. I find if I listen to Audible at 2 times while I have the book in front of me, I can go through it like nobody's business. So I'm studying. I study with a study partner, and right
Okay.
now we pick a book and we go through it. And right now we're doing the power of awareness. How do you power
Wait.
the
Wait.
Power of Awareness by
Oh,
Neville
Neville
Goddard?
Goddard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
On my own, I'm studying this. It's not a book. It's a paper. The Spirit of Opulence by Howard Troward. I can never. He's so hard to read. But again, it's kind of like the turn of the century, before The Secret, kind of the people that Think and Grow Rich type of stuff. It's
Okay.
all
Yep.
about that. I have. Where did I put my book list? Oh, there he is. Um, I'm doing from Marta Beck. No, hang on, what the hell's her
Oh,
name?
Yeah. Martha
Yeah,
Beck.
Martha
Mhm.
Beck. Finding Your North Star, and I'm reading that kind of because I've had that lack of purpose, and this one specifically around that.
Yep.
Mhm. I just finished the Longevity Guidebook by Peter Diamandis.
Okay.
It was a good book, so I added in some things into my regular routine of herbs and things like that, and threw Sue on some stuff that she doesn't know yet. Um,
Oh.
Although she caught me today, she's like, are we using that protein shake? And I'm like, no, it was a Greens Plus. I know it tasted like grass. I bought another type. Okay. She's like, oh, thank God.
Oh.
Eat to Beat Your Diet. That was from William Lyon. That was around me trying to get control of my blood sugars and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Pam Grout, E2, which is that kind of not Course in Miracles,
Law of
manifesting.
attraction.
Law of attraction. And I have to say, there's this idea that of everything you create is up in your mind first, in the world first, all this type of stuff.
Yep.
And I've been working on that. We all do, there's beliefs and this type of stuff. But the interesting thing is I've tried her exercises. I've never seen somebody resist so much. It's like I do it and nothing happens. Chirp, 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 chirp. And I'm looking for the evidence and everything. And it's like, I gave that book up. I tried 2 exercises and kind of went, okay, there's a definite block there. But that's just right now, immediately. And I forgot to look at my audiobooks because I listen to audios as well.
But you don't do fiction, is that correct?
No, I don't have the time, and I don't, I'd rather be learning with the same time than
Mhm.
fidget. So that is the one thing that's probably a bit compulsive about me is I very rarely shut down.
I
You
remember
know,
you telling me that.
yeah, it's kind of like I'm always learning, taking in things. I look for a value of the time.
Mhm.
So I would say that probably the more that I become fixated with having a value time, making sure that I'm learning something, rise above, no, above noise. Who the hell is that I'm listening to? And no, not yet. But I do, so I will play with TikTok for like half an hour, sometimes at night to an hour. And that's about the only time that I will allow myself like aimless kind of stuff that's not expanding me or somebody else or that type of thing.
Okay. Interesting.
The let them theory I'm trying to read. 10% happier is another. Whoops.
Yep.
So that's everything I have on the go right now.
Okay. Awesome. I
Yes.
love learning new books. I did read, I do have the E2 Pam Grout, just 2 of those books. I
Yeah.
did kind of work through them. And it's so funny that you say, because I'm doing a course with Melanie, and everybody talks about downloads.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the hell, man? I've never had a freaking download. Like,
Yeah.
and if I did,
Sorry, she means Melanie Ann Layer.
yes. And I'm
Yes.
like, so same thing with you, like where there's a mental that, hey, I'm not getting this. That's how I feel about these freaking downloads. So it's, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But, and you're right, you have to put it down. Like I had to put down A Course in Miracles because I wasn't open to it. So although I was going through the exercise and doing it, I wasn't open. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
So you're right. So if a book does not serve you, put that shit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like there's no reason.
There's
Yeah.
no heroism in finishing it. Like I couldn't tell you how many books that they say the same thing over and over. I find like we get in these jives. It's the, some would call it the collective conscious, that type of stuff, where the same idea goes through when I start reading it, or there's a writer that you love, and I pick up one book, and the next book is just the same, just expand. You know what I mean? Like it's like Mel Robbins. She has come up with 3 distinct different ideas. Tony Robbins. There's been different ideas. When you watch somebody over 20 years, of course we evolve. We
Right.
learn and we grow more. But when you see somebody, and the second book I find comes out a couple years later, I pick it up. It's much the same concepts and ideas still as the other. And so I
And
stopped
you,
reading them.
yeah, and I agree with you. And you brought up Mel, which I did want to clarify because we talked about the let them theory, but she
Yeah.
didn't create that. That was actually created
No.
by a psychologist, I think, in maybe the 60s or 70s.
Hold on, I digress. No, no, no. It was created back in the 30s with Al-Anon when they said, "Live and let live."
Well, that's true. That is
You
true.
know,
But
like
I mean the whole theory that let them. So that I just kind of wanted to clarify because we brought it up and we gave her credit for it, which she, again, like you said,
sort of,
what's old is new.
yeah, and I don't think she actually takes credit. She does
No,
talk
she
about
doesn't. She does
no,
not. But
she takes
yeah.
it. She says she did lots of research and found out about it. No, so what she did was she compiled it in such a way that in today's day and age, it's the old thing, come forward, that hit people in a way, 2 words, hey, I've got it, and I can grab that concept. Same
Yep.
with the 5-second rule. All of them,
The Secret. The
The
Secret
Secret,
is really a regurg of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and Florence Scovel, and a few other
which was
ones.
Science of Getting Rich with Wallace. I mean, everybody was
Yes.
this type
Yep.
of
And
stuff.
she just kind of made it current for the current understanding or the
Yeah.
current awareness, and it hit with everybody's understanding. So yes, you're 100% very,
Yes.
you are smart. You are
Thank you.
smarter
So
than
are
the
you,
average
girl.
bear.
Yes. So I think that we're on this love quest. So we're going to be going on the next one. We're going to talk about love. But in the meantime, these are the books that we were reading, what we wanted to share with you.
Yep.
Always looking for subjects for me, nonfiction. If you want to propose any books, and if you want a book review, and want to know what our thoughts are about books, we both read quite a number of books or listened to.
Yep.
I do. I don't know. Is there anything else? We ready to gear up?
No, I think we can move on to let's go on to our next one.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Please put down. We want to know what you're reading because you know what?
Yep.
I'm looking for my next good deep dive. You recommend it, suggest it. I'll be probably looking at it. So,
and me too, but a little further down in the year.
yes,
But yes.
yes. So, thank you for joining me. My name is Karen Vale. I'm a confidence and mindset coach, and I am here with.
Anna Jennings, your midlife mentor.
Thank you.